HGUC Gundam Delta Kai. Hey, what's up again, everybody? It's Robert184, 2Rs2Bs, at GundamReviews.net, and everybody knows that Gundam Unicorn UC has been a big boon for the HGUC line, and fans getting Gunpla of new and old MSs. They can even go so far as to be putting out mobile suit variations like this one, with a December 2012 release. From Bandai, of course, and you can make out the price down there, 2,600 Japanese yen. There's the name in English and Japanese. From the MSV line of Gundam UC, number 148. How'd you like to have all of those in the HGUC line? With some very cool cover art, and you'll notice that he's bright and colorful without the tricolors here, with a purple and yellow color scheme and a transformation. And you can get this kit and lots more from HobbyLink Japan, links below. UC has brought so many new pieces to the puzzle and connected them in pretty cool ways, starting with the Delta Gundam, which is the transforming form, or what it would have been if the plans had been completed for the Hyakushiki. That of course became the Delta Plus, and then the Delta Plus became this Gundam-headed Delta Kai, which is going to look very cool with that color scheme, albeit without the gold bling. But setting this MSV apart from its unanimated brethren is just the fact that in the tradition of G-Unit and A Decade of Astray, and 00F, 00I, and things like that, is the fact that it actually has its own spin-off manga, which is new right now in Gundam Ace. And what a beast it is here, as you can see it in its non-traditional color scheme there, with a massive shield on its left arm, including weaponry there, and a huge beam rifle over there. He's also got some massive prototype fin funnels there on the back, with tons of color apps all over the place between the purple and the yellow, on what looks like a gray G3-ish kind of sheen to it. We'll have to see how that works out. Here's the number and some more information about it, and you can see that it is going to be a larger Gundam at 19.6 meters there, 28 tons, big list of weapons over there, and some great line art, and then they're going to explain what the MSV line is from Gundam UC. But it's to the other side where we get to see some of the gimmicks of the actual kit itself, and it is going to be transforming, and some nice touches here. Like the proto-fin funnels are actually going to have a little custom base, so you could have them sitting on the ground and actually launching off, which is the kind of thing that you'd like to see on more kits like the High News and News, in whatever form they're coming out in. The MS mode is going to look great when it's up in the air there. You got to wonder about the weight issues with such a massive shield there, and a big beam rifle, but the proto-fin funnels look like a lot of fun here. Similar to some of the things we've seen like the Delta Plus and the Delta Gundam in HGUC, it is just going to have these custom parts here, which are just going to have to sit aside, because instead of transforming the chest, you're just going to pop the parts off in the limbs, reattach everything, which definitely does make it simpler if you don't mind the fact that it is a parts former. But you can see that that massive shield and all those little panels that are on it, very colorful, are all going to look good, especially when they're all spread out here when it's in its Wave Rider mode, inspired of course by Zeta Gundam. Down here you can see that the shield is going to have gimmicks there as things are going to open up, and the high mega launcher is going to be able to detach, and you can just see the way that it sits on the shield. Here you've got the long mega buster, which is looking very cool as a nice looking sniper long distance rifle. 2 beam sabers as is to be expected. Here's some more information about it, and if you wanted to get them all on display together, you can see on the left the Delta Plus, which you could have 6 of these conceivably, 3 of them in MS mode, 3 of them transformed. They're all going to be sold separate along with the action base too, but Bandai has definitely set some people some ideas in their minds when they're showing off pictures like this. Inside the box we go to see what Bandai is going to be treating or disappointing with, and right away, when you take a look at the top, you've got some nice purple, some nice white, and a massively disappointing sticker sheet, and it's disappointing because of just how massive it is. Lots of white in here for the C plates, more. Only a very small, it looks like there's a lot more purple here than the yellow. Sadly, it's going to be done up in seals, it mostly looks like. Unique plates over there, probably for the A to go along with the gray for the big beam rifles. Some gray here for some colorful piping, which is a nice touch, and a lighter gray for some accents. More inner frame, so lots of plastic here, as you'd expect for that price point. And there it is, all put together. Sadly, now we know that this is definitely painted by a pro, and you're going to have to seal it up if you want it to get to look half this good. The A-plate continues in Bandai's recent trend of not including multicolors on there. It's going to be neat looking at the name bars for all the plates, as it's got to be a mix of the Delta, the Kai, and the actual Delta Plus here. This one's going to be labeled as Kai, as you can see the Gundamish shapes there, and the massive parts that are going to make up the shield with lots of cool little funnels and panels sticking out. The B belongs to the Delta Plus here, and it is going to be white on this A and B plate, definitely not setting itself as gray or G3-ish at all. You could paint that up yourself. Some cool little details here, the way that the parts are going to have some neatly omitted parts there, which are going to really add to what you see underneath it to go along with some nice beam sabers there. and some cool panels that you may have to sticker up, or you could just paint up yourself. Identical C-plates here, which belong to the Delta Plus, and you can see that you've got the tops of the feet along with some more wing panels. D-plate also Delta Plus here, and you can see that you've got some beam rifles, which are going to be unused over there, and you're going to see some parts for the manipulators and some very cool parts that are going to go down and make up the legs. Here's E, also Delta Plus, and when you're going through the manual, you'll want to look carefully at the B, C, D, and E plates because you are going to be wasting a lot of plastic. Some of them, like the beam rifle, I suppose you could use, but this big chunk of plastic, similar to the Delta Gundam, not going to be used there, but you've got some of the parts for the inner frame, and this part over here has been added on to make it Gundam Delta Kai. F1 and F2, though, are 1.5 plates, and bringing us back to the original parts for the Kai, as you can see those massive fin funnels over there. Some cool details here on the shoulders, which are very unique for this. You can also see some really cool looking long beam sabers down there. The parts that you're going to need for the chest. From the big gun here, you can see that this belongs to the Kai, and this is going to be used in lieu of the chest for the transformation. Just unfortunate that you're throwing out the previous one that we saw in the Delta Plus plates, and that you do the same for the Delta Gundam. It's a waste of a lot of plastic. But now things finally are starting to feel really interesting as we get into the purple that makes up the secondary color here, if you don't want to count the boring gray. For the inner frame, you can see the feet there, you can see some parts that are going to get added onto the shoulder, some great looking parts with some good cutout details there, and most importantly on the proto fin funnels there, you're actually going to be having purple on the insides of the whites, which should look fantastic as they're jutting out over the shoulders in the backpack. With the I1 and I2 plate wrapping up the main plastic here, you've got a very light gray, different from the inner frame, just two small parts there to go along with some piping. These are the kinds of things that they've been using very well on the back of things like knees and on forearms. And here you can see you're going to have the neck section and some small little yellow pieces here. And also this is going to be used in the weapon, but we've only got 8 of them. And when you consider how many seals there are, because the sticker sheet is larger than the eye plate, and so both the yellow and the purple, there should have been a lot more provided here. Some of these you can omit, like the ones that are going to go around the thrusters here if you want, or they're going to fit in there rather awkwardly, unless you're really good at putting them in on 5 different sizes. Camera lenses and scopes and eyes, that's to be expected. It's got some gray under the eyes, which look good. Some large yellow seals there and some triangles. Lots of these have little perforations though, which means they're going to be going around bends, which is never ideal. And then you've got so much more of these large purple parts there, so even though it seems very cool when you're looking at the package, you'd probably want to paint, or at least be good at putting on seals and hopefully not complain if you want to enjoy this kit. Painted up by a pro though, you know that he looks fantastic there with the legs and the details above the knees looking like a lot of fun. And when you go inside, you can see some more information about the Wave Rider. They're going to show off the Delta Plus and the Delta Gundam 115 and 136 in the HGUC line. Here they're telling you to go read the manga. You can see the weapons there, the long Mega Buster, but I think it's going to be that high Mega Cannon that seems to be a lot more fun over here. With the plates now where you can see the X's all over 4 of the plates and multiples there for C, you're going to build together the chest and the arms, and once you've got the body together here, you can see that it's only going to take 3 pages to actually build that up. Before you're going to add on all the parts to the massive backpack here, it's going to show you all the different weapons gimmicks here, as you can have things going in and out, various sizes of beam sabers, and the fin funnel sitting on the side and sitting on the ground. With the transformation neatly done here in 2 pages in color, so of course stick around to see that. You can see where you're going to be putting on some of the yellow parts, moving the yellow panels all around, putting that core block system together, even if that's not what it's called, and the big shield with all those little winglings should look pretty cool when it's actually put together, I'm hoping. The back painting page is going to look good, especially if you've got some action base 2s, and it's a very nice way to show off the gimmicks here, as you're going to be getting those fin funnel stands there. You can have them either up on the action base 2 or on the ground. Either way, they seem to work, and if you're interested in the color scheme here, the purple is going to be 45% to go along with sky blue, 45%, white tan, and a drop of red. So a fun unbox when you consider that you're getting a Gundam here in 1/144th that's got as much plastic, if not more, than the master grades from G Gundam. The manual looks good, the only real disappointment, the colors are bright and vivid, is just going to be this. So stick around to see the parts and it all put together in transformation, and as always, let me know what you're thinking about this kit in the video. Thanks for watching, everybody. See ya. Seals. Even my V-fin was done right, even though my master grades wasn't.